Burn it rubber, smell it in the air. That's how we livin'. Machines roar, engines spitting fire, unforgiving. Tracks hot, lava tires gripping tight, zero slipping. Moonlit nights, neon lights, streets forbidden. Octane Outlaws, kings of the bend. No pretend, gloves off, helmets on, rivals round the bend. V8 symphony, metal orchestra, adrenaline blend. Speed demons, night prowling, never gotta blend. Fast lane royale, racing through the night. Checkered flag dreams, eyes on the prize. Pedals to the metal hearts, in overdrive. Octane Outlaws, we never compromise. Pit stop strategy, fuel up tires fresh. Seconds counting, every drop of sweat invest. Rivals in the rear view, only smoke they catch. Speed king's crown, never not obsessed. Turbocharged hearts beat with nitro veins. Circular dance, grip tight reins. Swerves and drifts, battle scars remain. Victory in our blood flowing like champagne. Grand slam chasers, roar of the beast. Curves we conquer, locking in the feast. High stakes gamble, front to east. Cold steel passion, never rest in peace. Octane Outlaws, kings of the bend. No pretend, gloves off, helmets on, rivals round the bend. V8 symphony, metal orchestra, adrenaline blend. Speed demons, night prowling, never gotta blend. Fast lane royale, racing through the night. Checkered flag dreams, eyes on the prize. Pedals to the metal hearts, in overdrive. Octane Outlaws, we never compromise. Pit stop strategy, fuel up tires fresh. Seconds counting, every drop of sweat invest. Rivals in the rear view, only smoke they catch. Speed king's crown, never not obsessed. Turbocharged hearts beat with nitro veins. Circular dance, grip tight reins. Swerves and drifts, battle scars remain. Victory in our blood flowing like champagne. Grand slam chasers, roar of the beast. Curves we conquer, locking in the feast. High stakes gamble, front to east. Cold steel passion, never rest in peace.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here this afternoon. The Octane Outlaws back in action here this evening from the wonderful Watkins Glen International Speedway. As these drivers hop out onto the racetrack here, a little bit of qualifying about to get underway here as drivers are going to jump out there, try to lay down their best 2 lap times and get ready to see if they get things started off on the right foot here this afternoon. As Texas Calva, my boy Calva coming in, showing the love, says, here we go again. Yes, Sirski, here we go, baby. Let's get it, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, again, still no webcam turned on for us here. Your boy is still sick. We've been dealing with. I'm assuming it's COVID for the last few days. So, well, actually, it's probably been about 5 days, 6 days, something like that since I got it, and it has not been fun. I've been down bad. I've been locked in my bedroom. I've been just like dying in the bed, and you know, it's been getting better. We've been trending in the right direction, and it's not too shabby, but still got a bad cough, lungs, everything else still pretty sore and tender. So we're trying to just keep on surviving here throughout the weeks and continue to put on some great content. As Alex Coffey out there right now, currently quickest out there on the racetrack. That 54 ride hooked up again this afternoon as Curtis Kelly in position number 2. The 71 ride looking very fast. Christian Marcelli also looking pretty good out there in that P-Lab number 22 machine. Currently 3rd quickest out there. Victor Pfluger up inside the top 5 in qualifying right now, with Corey Moore right there as well in that beautiful Carvana number 84. The Jimmy Johnson paint scheme out there as Corey rolls currently in that 6th position. Kevin Menapace out there as well. Menapace in the 42. He's inside the top 10. He's got Russell Peets just in front of him. In Peets in that beautiful ZFG number 191 ride, as we do see Lucas Wilson back out there. Good to see Lucas out there on the racetrack. We see Frankie Klein out there as well. Frankie Klein jumping out onto the racetrack. Good to see Frankie out there. There's Travis Roberto. He's going to slide out there as well as Noah Miller with the quick time, but it's not going to last for long as Curtis Kelly jumps up and takes the top spot. So the quick time now to the 71 ride by almost half a second. Oh my. Blazing hot fast lap time right there for Curtis Kelly in that 71 machine. As we see all these drivers try to lay down some good lap times, trying to get their day kicked off on the right foot. There's a lot of drivers, a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of time to make mistakes or gain positions out there on the racetrack, because we do see Braxton DeWeese. DeWeese is going to jump out there. He's going to look to try to lay down a couple good lap times here in that number 5 ride, as the Bennett's machine looking to try to rebound after what was a pretty solid run last week, and kind of went for a little bit of a up and down battle, but was able to rebound for a nice finish in that 5 ride. And as we do see Curtis Rogers out there, Patrick Mitrovic going around there in that 4 ride. He's trying to get that thing pointed back in the right direction. Does have some pretty good damage there. Unfortunately, that may nullify his lap time, so he's going to have to try to get this lap going again. And once he crosses that start-finish line, he's going to have to try to do it with the damage on that 4 ride, which is definitely going to hurt his odds here this afternoon. As Daniel Lolis out there as well. Lolis out there in that Carolina machine, slides out there onto the Speedway, the 56. It's going to see what he can do. We do see David Gudman out there as well, as Gudman in the beautiful Cure MS, the multiple sclerosis awareness car out there on the racetrack. The Fabricator X on Twitch ride out there on the Speedway. Curtis Rogers still out there as well in the 32. We'll take a look there at Rogers as he's rolling out there on the racetrack. As Bandit House Gaming says, let's go number 30. Cheering on that 30 ride here this afternoon. Ryan Gillette already getting his laps in here, and Gillette currently sits in the 13th position right now in this qualifying session, as Braxton DeWeese was able to lay down the quick time and steal the top spot away from Curtis Kelly. So Kelly back into position number 2 here in qualifying, as Braxton DeWeese jumps out in front. This is going to be a great fight here at the front of the field. There's a lot of drivers that are pretty close in times, and I think we're going to have a bit of a dogfight here this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Now, normally when I see these cars out here at a road course, normally we see kind of, 1 or 2 drivers really just run away with it, but I think we're going to have a good couple handfuls of drivers that are going to be right there within striking distance all afternoon, especially with our stage breaks. Having stage breaks that's, lap number 17 and lap number 47 really going to make things interesting here this afternoon. So having those stage breaks, having those times where the caution flag's going to come out, everyone gets stacked back together, it's going to really just keep the field pretty bunched up. And late in this race, only being 60 laps, that final stage being at lap 47, we're going to probably go back to green with probably about 10 laps or so to go. So it's going to be a pretty short run to the finish line. So that's going to be fun to see. As Chris DeWeese, what's good, Chris? Chris says, good evening, everyone. Hope everyone has had a great week so far. Let's go, number 5, Braxton DeWeese. Chris, yeah, I hope everyone's had a great week as well. I've had a very, very rough week, unfortunately. I've had a sickness, which I now know is COVID, for the last week, so I've been down bad. Monday was very, very rough. Same with Tuesday, Wednesday. They were pretty much stay in the bedroom. I barely left my bed. Couldn't get out of the covers because it was either super cold or hot, hot and cold flashes and coughing and then trying to just keep everything inside myself. You know, it was a challenge for the last few days, but we're starting to trend into the better area, and that's what we're all about right there. Is we're gonna see this qualifying session quickly come to a close here this afternoon, so we'll get ready for our main feature event in just a little bit. As C Moore says, "Let's go dig," cheering on all the dig rides here this evening, including himself, as we get ready to see these drivers go to battle. Corey, I do believe it's Corey. Corey, is that how you say your last name, brother? Is it Moore? The like Moore, like More, or do you pronounce it a different way? Great to be back and having you broadcast, brother. I appreciate that. And yeah, I love seeing Braxton out there on the racetrack and having you up in the comment section cheering him on, and all the Deweese fans in the stands watching that beautiful number 5 right out there on the speedway. As we'll get him stacked up, we'll get him racked up here in just a little bit more. Okay, double O, but still like Moore. Okay. I get you. Okay, that makes it easier. You just never know. You can never quite tell when people, different areas, different, states or whatever else, different countries at that, right? I'm from Canada. I'm close to Quebec, so I got a lot of French in me. You just never really know how people correctly pronunciate their name until you almost hear it or someone shows you or anything else. Yo, Chris Pilo! What in the world, Mr. Pilo coming in showing the big love here in this one with a 200-star dono over there on Facebook coming in showing the big love as Chris has just got home from the road enjoying some birthday cake as it was your birthday yesterday. What? Well, I was gone to Friday night, buddy. Yeah, cheers to Friday night to you as well, my dude, and happy mother fluffin' birthday. Enjoying some birthday cake as it was yesterday. My gosh, brother. Happy mother fluffin' birthday, Mr. Pilo. That's absolutely insane, brother. How old did you turn? Yo, what's good, Nelson? Mr. John's coming in showing the love. Chris Pilo with that like as well. Jeff McJaffrey, what's good, Jeff? Jeff coming in with that like as well as Robbie Tester. What's good, Mr. Tester? Robbie coming in showing the love as well as Robbie says, let's go, baby. Jeff says, yo, kicking tires and lighting fires. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Jeff. Yes, Sirski, you know it, brother. Nelson says, what's up, Aaron? Been a minute. I see the greatest commentator of iRacing is still at it. Yes, sir, we're still at it. Even COVID can't hold me down, baby. Okay, we've been down and out all week. I somehow throughout some of the worst of it Monday night, I still hopped on here, made sure we got our broadcast in that we had. I didn't want to miss it. I wasn't going to miss it, so we made sure we did it. We were here last night. We're here again tonight. And as long as the COVID's around, we're still around. It's not going to hold me back from being up here in the broadcast booth. It's going to keep me from having the webcam turned on in case if I got to go through a coughing fit or a sneezing fit or anything else. I don't want you guys to have to watch, what fluids and everything else may fly out of my body, so we won't display that. As Chris says, 38 years old. Let's go, baby. Couple years away from new knees. Let's go. Hey, that's upgrades, man. Upgrades. Yes, sir. You can't turn down free upgrades. No, sir. You gotta take those. As we get ready to rock and roll here at Watkins Glen, you see these drivers out there on the racetrack. They're gonna get ready to roll as it's Braxton Deweese in the 5 ride, who is our pole sitter to his outside in the 71. It's the 5-hour energy machine of Curtis Kelly. Starting in third, it's Noah Miller. To his outside will be that 84 ride. That is Corey Moore. Starting in position number 5, it's Victor Fluger with Alex Coffey, Travis Roberto, AJ Green, Christian Marcelli, and Blaine Wilson rounding out our top 10. Cameron Craighead, Frankie Klein, Ryan Gillette, Curtis Rogers, Russell Peets, our top 15 with Austin Avery, Tommy Thompson, Stephen Hines, Lucas Wilson, and Ryan Peters rounding out our top 20. Then we see Ken Zeems, Stephen Hines, and then we see Joshua Whitfield, Kevin Manapace, David Gudmond, Colin Butts, Owen Bridges, Patrick Mitrovics, Daniel Lolis, and George Buck apparently off the racetrack as of right now. Same with Joshua Whitfield. He's just taking his car down pit road. And George Buck also not out there on the racetrack. So technically we will get started here with 27 drivers. 2 stage breaks, 60 laps of racing action. Is Dude Guy, what's good, Dude Guy? Dude Guy coming in with that like on the stream. How are you, dude? Dude coming in showing the love here in this one. As CR Short Film says, let's go 95. Alan's Art Images says, Deweese getting better every time at these road courses. He's been absolutely insane. Blaine Wilson, update please. Blaine is starting in that 10th position as we will end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here from Watkins Glen International Speedway. Down through corner number 1 into corner number 2. They're going to go through the S's here as they snake their way up this big hill down through quarter number 3 and 4 here. It gets real tight, so 2 wide. Definitely going to make things very interesting. Driver is going to have to try to figure out how to get single file down there through that 3rd and 4th corner, and looks like for the most part everybody's able to. Now, right there at the bus stop, this is going to be a big area for people to either make mistakes or for people to find an opening to try to work themselves around some of the traffic in front of them. As Braxton Deweese leads us down and out of that big wide turn there. That is the, technically I do believe that's the 6th corner on the racetrack. 6, I think they count that as, something like that. 6th or 7th, and then they come down here through the 8th, through the 9th corner, and down the front straightaway here at Watkins Glen International Speedway. And for the first lap here this afternoon, it is the 5 rider Braxton Deweese who will lead the first lap here this afternoon with the Grand Slam Series, powered by the Octane Outlaws. As Braxton Deweese leads the way, you do see Curtis Kelly trying to hang right there with him. Noah Miller doing a great job there in 3rd with Alex Coffey back there in position number 4. That Jimmy Johnson paint scheme drive, that's Corey Moore there in position number 5, is Moore in that 5th position. He's looking pretty solid out there on the speedway. A beautiful looking paint scheme, a beautiful looking ride for the 028 of Travis Roberto as he rolls there in that 6th position with the 20 of Victor Pfluger right there behind him, as we do see a couple drivers down through the grass right there. One of those being that 8 rider Noah Miller. Let's take that back and take a look here. Miller, unfortunately, there for Miller, he's going to end up making a little bit of a mistake here. So gets in a little too hot, but then bounces over those bumps and misses that corner right there down through the grass, loses a couple spots and moves him a little farther back right there. Still able to hold on to that 5th position, but let's take a look back through a few more drivers that have ran into problems here. We saw Russell Peets go off the racetrack here as well. Let's take a look at Russell and what happens here to the 191 ride as he just goes up and over the banking there a little too far. Not that bad of an issue. Luckily enough, no damage or tire wear or anything else for that 191 ride. Alrighty, as we also saw Noah Miller run into problems there, as we did see the 95 also end up having some issues. That Miller having the biggest problem right there. We did see Christian Marcelli run into problems as well in that 22 ride as he gets loose. Gets into the grass right there. Luckily enough, he's able to avoid making hard contact there with that outside fence down into the final corner here at Watkins Glen International Speedway. So a good break right there for him as he's able to keep that car out of trouble. But we do see Corey Moore. Moore gonna get into some issues here. Let's take a look at it and see what happens to the 84 machine of Moore. Oh, more goes around, and unfortunately, a bunch of drivers get taken out right there. Nowhere for them to go. Heavy, heavy damage for a bunch of cats right there. Caution flag does come out for it as, man, there was a lot of drivers right there that just had really nowhere to go. Let's break this down. We'll watch as this number 84 is going to send it into the corner here. Just gets in a little bit too hot. The rear end steps out and around on him. Now, as he goes sideways, he's right in that driving lane that everybody's aiming for. And all of a sudden, here comes the 07. Here comes that 028. They really just have nowhere to go. Heavy damage there for both of them. You see Travis turned around there. He's spinning around right now. Doesn't have too much damage, but down through the grass. Looks like he may end up making some contact here with the inside wall right there. Maybe just a little bit of contact. Doesn't look like much damage to that car, but unfortunately for the 07, looked like AJ Green got the worst end of that deal. Green right there, just really nothing or nowhere for him to go. And we did see the 20 ride get collected in this as well. Watch this hit. Bam! That's a big hit right there. And yeah, you do see the 18 get a little damage there. And unfortunately for Victor Fluger and for the 18 of Wilson, both those drivers getting a little bit of damage right there, but the 20 ride ends up with the worst end of that damage as he loses quite a bit of positions. And Fluger all the way back now into the 15th position after taking this car down pit side. Let's take another look at what happens here as they're bouncing around the 07 right in front of them, and man, a couple of good hits right there. Not only the contact into the 07 ride, but also into that wall as well, as he's got to go through the gravel pit there. He's got dirt, grass, and gravel now all clogged up inside that 20 ride, and unfortunately some pretty good damage and contact there for a lot of drivers, as that's going to be our first caution flag of the day. And we see a bunch of cats coming down pit side, including Blaine Wilson. So Wilson will come down pit road. Here comes Corey Moore as well. Victor Fluger making his way back down pit side. They're looking to try to get some repairs, get their cars fixed back up, as AJ Green in the 07 looks like he's taking his car off of the racetrack and potentially out of this race. Same with Travis Roberto. So already a few drivers running into problems and not being able to continue on here this afternoon, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing. As once again, ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize. I do currently have COVID right now, so I have a really, really bad cough, and it's obviously created some chest pains, everything else, but the cough, it just kind of sporadically sparks up. So a lot of times you may hear me in the middle of a conversation and then I may mute up. It's because I'm about to cough my lungs out, and I don't want to do that over the headphones. I don't want to do that over the mic and deafen you guys or have you guys have to listen to it or anything else. So I do apologize if I go blank there for a little bit. If you guys notice that, it's not my intentions, as I wish I didn't have to worry about being sick. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to have these problems, but unfortunately here today and throughout this week and potentially next week, it's gonna be some tough sledding for your boy, as not a fun time. Alrighty, as we will get the lights are still on the official iRacing safety car out there on the racetrack. That beautiful Porsche leading the way here in this one. Definitely not the way a lot of these drivers wanted to see this race go, but for some of them, it's probably kind of what they were hoping for. The road course side of NASCAR and the Cup Series and everything else, it's a love-hate relationship. You know, it's either people really love it and they really, you know, try hard at it and they respect it and they perform well at it, but other drivers, man, they just don't got the niche for it, and they just unfortunately maybe don't have the passion for it or whatever, and don't put as much time in or as much practice, or even if they do, they just can't get the handle of you know, the road course style of racing, the different elevations and the left and right turns and the hard braking consistently and switching gears on a consistent basis, as it's definitely a very, very tough thing to do, and especially to carry at such a high end speed and at a high pace and keeping all these other other drivers back there behind you is not an easy job to do at all. So for a lot of drivers, they don't really like it, but a lot of cats definitely do. So for some of the drivers that are struggling a little deeper in the field, seeing drivers potentially out of the race early is probably going to be a breath of fresh air for them. They're going to be a little bit farther off the pace, probably not as fast as what these other drivers are. As you look back at David Guzman, like his best lap time so far is 1 minute and 23 seconds. We see a couple other drivers with 120 seconds and 150s and stuff like that. Definitely very far off the pace lap times, and seeing the caution flag definitely helps them along, gets a few less laps that they got to worry about being under speed or potentially going a lap down or multiple laps down. And with more drivers having issues, is the more points that they can gain out there on the racetrack as well. As we'll see a lot of action here this afternoon, and potentially quite a few caution flags as we'll get these drivers ready to rock and roll. Once again, the lights are off. The official iRacing pace car will get ready to go back to green flag racing. So out of this final corner here at Watkins Glen International Speedway, that Porsche pace car will make that hard right-hand turn back down pit lane, and we will get ready to go back to green flag racing. Is down through the Geico restart zone. A fairly even run right there, but a great launch out of that 71 ride. He's looking to use that good run down through corner number 1 to keep that 5 ride. Braxton DeWeese back in position number 2, but DeWeese will stay right out in front as he's able to put the power down, use that inside lane to his advantage, and he will keep the race lead as everyone trying to look to get single file down through the S's here at Watkins Glen International Speedway. Man, this is definitely one of those fun racetracks that everybody normally comes to, and some are definitely not a huge fan of it. Others are just loving it. But the tight racing, the sharp corners, the slickness of this racetrack, we're going to see a lot of issues. You're going to see a lot of drivers doing what we just saw out of the 20 of Fluger in this number 56 ride out there on the racetrack. Is we're going to see all these guys slipping and sliding around. They're going to be going up and through the grass. We're going to see all these cats have those kind of issues here throughout the afternoon, and potentially more caution flags like we saw early in this race. But we will see a couple caution flags here for our stage breaks at lap 17 and lap 47. So it'll be about a 30 lap run, but if we don't have another caution flag, could be potentially our longest run of the day there for stage number 2. But if we see a couple caution flags break that stage up, could be a lot of very short runs out there on the speedways. You can see just how technical this racetrack is as we chase down this 5 ride of Braxton DeWeese. DeWeese looking to try to keep all these drivers back there at bay as Elizabeth Andrews says, let's go. Noah cheering on that 8 ride. Golf says, let's go. Dig cheering on all the dig rides here this afternoon. Kelly Coffey says, go Coffey, go Dig Esports, cheering on Alex back there as Alex up into position number 3 now. Some of his Dig Esports teammates unfortunately running into some problems there during that first caution flag, and we saw Fluger getting some pretty good damage out of it. He's trying to rebound from it as he's trying to work his way back up through the traffic, and same with the 18 of Blaine Wilson as we see another driver there running into some problems. It looked like Kevin Menapace going around right here. Let's play this back and take a look and see what happens. Is maybe just a little contact. 4 ride gets in there a little deep, unfortunately misses that braking point or wants to brake a little bit later, and Modelo 42 gets sideways. Everyone having to try to get around him there, and luckily enough everyone able to keep themselves out of it and keep themselves pointed in the right direction. Man, this has been a pretty interesting run so far, man. We've seen a lot of drivers back and forth, a lot of drivers trying to race their way up here, but it's such a hard track. You got really a couple good spots that try to attack and take positions. This is one of them right here. You see the 95 rider Lucas Wilson down to the inside of that 7 ride, stealing the preferred line here through the bus stop, and he's able to take that position away. That's one of the main spots that you can try to take advantage of somebody in taking that inside groove away from. Another spot is coming up here. The 95 ride's about to head into it. Now this time he doesn't have anyone close to him to take advantage of it, but we saw the 4 ride get in there a little too deep. That's sometimes what you can do right here in this corner. If you can outbrake them or you try to cross them over or something, that's one of the great corners to try to make a pass here at Watkins Glen International Speedway. And another one coming up here at the bottom side of corner number 1 at the start of this race, right down here. This is where we see a lot of the main issues, a lot of the big hits here is right there as drivers like the 95, you get a great view of it right there, as unfortunately you see that time and time again, especially on restarts. You get in there a little bit too hot and you watch this 95, he's going to lock up the front tires here, and unfortunately it's just gonna carry all too much momentum up and over the banking right there, and he's gonna keep on sliding up and into the safer barriers here at Watkins Glen International Speedway. A pretty heavy left front hit right there for him, and unfortunately for Lucas, that is going to make his day that much tougher out there on the racetrack. But he's gonna keep on trucking here, once again making another mistake going down through the grass here, and unfortunately he's going to get stopped on the racetrack. It looks like he's going to take that car down pit road. So a tough break there for him, but we're going to continue to see these drivers keep on cooking out here on the racetrack, and we're going to continue to see drivers run into problems. That was the 2 ride of Stephen Hines going around right there. Now you see the 66 of Colin Butts. Butts turned the wrong way there as well. He's parked down on the inside of that 7th or 8th quarter, whatever quarter it is here at Watkins Glen. Now he's scored back in the 23rd position as Lucas Wilson down pit side, Corey Moore also down on pit road, Travis Roberto down pit side, AJ Green down pit road, Joshua Whitfield and George Buck also down and off the racetrack. As Bar J in S Ranch says, damn it, I'm losing points because I have to work. Listen, I don't know if you had to miss one, this might be the one that you'd want to miss. This is the road courses, man, are they're such a tricky race, man, but for some drivers, they just have the hang of it. And you take a look out in front, you see our race leader, Braxton Luis. He's been out in front, he's led every lap, he's been the reflection of perfection, but right there on his back bumper, that 71 rider, Curtis Kelly, not letting him run away with it, sticking right there with them. Now they got a bit of a gap back to our 3rd, 4th, 5th place driver. They're about 3 seconds back here behind our race leaders, but so far Christian Marcelli having a great run. Same with the 8 rider Noah Miller and Alex Coffey right there inside the top 5, and could be a big day again for that 54 ride, looking to try to pick up back-to-back checker flags after picking up the win last week in our season opener at Richmond International Speedway. Here he is at Watkins Glen International, trying to have another good run this afternoon as Cameron Craighead there in 6th. We see Frankie Klein having a good run there in the 17 ride. The HendrickCars.com machine sits there in the 7th position. Austin Avery up into position number 8. Blaine Wilson battling back here. Wilson restarted at the rear of the field there after getting damage in that first caution flag on lap number 4. He's been able to battle all the way back inside the top 10 here, so a great showing so far for Blaine Wilson. And right there behind him, that very beautiful 5.6 graphics Camaro, that beautiful number 30 machine of Ryan Gillette. Gillette rolls there in position number 10 as he rounds out our top 10 on the racetrack, and Gillette going to look to continue to move forward here himself. Ryan Peters back there in that 0.5. He's in the 11th position. Victor Pfluger right there behind him. Another one of those drivers that ran into some problems there during that first caution flag. You see the heavy left front damage and front end damage still for that 20 ride. He's hoping to get a couple more caution flags and some more opportunities to get this car fixed up, but right now hanging on to it and doing a great job out there on the speedways. We do see Kevin Manapace running into some problems here again. Let's take a look here at that 42 ride as the Mildoa machine unfortunately going to get a little bit loose coming into corner number 1. A couple different weird angles, and unfortunately just going to lose that car. Goes around, and luckily enough, no contact there with that safer barrier like we saw with the 95 ride of Lucas Wilson earlier. So definitely a good break there for the 42. Able to keep that thing pointed in the right direction and keep on rolling. We did see Owen Bridges run into problems here as well. You see that 21 ride. Just gets out of the corner here, trying to carry a little too much speed, goes up and onto the shoulder, and oh, he ends up making hard contact right there with that wall down the secondary back straightaway there, and man, that's a tough hit right there for him, and he takes that car right down and off the racetrack. He's taking it behind the pit wall as well, so it looks like Owen may potentially be out of this race as well. We do see the 84 rider Corey Moore back out there onto the speedway as Moore back out there looking to keep on rocking and rolling in that beautiful Jimmy Johnson Carvana Shack paint schemed ride as he currently sits in 24th, now into 23rd, as unfortunately for Bridges, Lucas Wilson, Travis Roberto, AJ Green, Joshua Whitfield, and George Buck, they are all down and out of this race, and now potentially, as we do see this number 66 Colin Butts now down pit side here as well. So let's take a look here. Colin Butts making his way down onto pit road. Now this could be a little bit of strategy, knowing that we're going to get a stage break here in a couple laps. If you come down a little bit earlier, maybe you can try to turn the tables for yourself. If everyone else stays out looking for points or anything else, and all of a sudden during this caution break, they come down pit road, you stay out, you could potentially leapfrog them and move up a bunch of positions. But you got to be very careful during these green flag pit stops. You don't want to get caught speeding down pit road. You don't want to run into those problems. And unfortunately for the 66 ride, I do believe he did run into some problems there. Looks like he ended up getting a black flag, and for the 66 ride, he is now down and out of this race, and it looks like he's taking that car off of the racing surface, and unfortunately now down behind pit wall. As Bar J and S Ranch says, I do suck at road courses, but I just go slow and keep it on the track. Yeah, hey, that's a winning strategy a lot of the time here at road courses, man. That is definitely a winning strategy, and I think that's what a lot of drivers are just trying to do right now, just trying to survive. That's pretty much the name of the game, trying to survive, trying to keep yourself out of trouble, and you end up having issues just trying to minimize them where you're not getting too much damage, where you got to go behind pit wall or you got to be on pit lane for an extended period of time, and just hope that you can hit the stages right, not go a lap down. More drivers run into problems than you, and potentially more spots to gain, or at least just be given sometimes out there on the racetrack. Is out in front, continuing to lead the way. It's still that 5 ride of Braxton DeWeese. DeWeese still out in front, showing these drivers how to get it done here in this one. As DeWeese leads the way, it's Curtis Kelly who's right there behind him, man. These guys are still putting on a heck of a show at the front of the field. Just a little over 3 seconds between themselves and our third place driver, Alex Coffey. As Coffey in that 54, he started to separate himself from the other 2 drivers that are right there behind him. So he's kind of in the middle here of the top 5, sitting perfectly in the middle. As about a second and a half back, you do see Noah Miller there in 4th. Christian Marcelli back there in that 5th spot now on the speedway, with Cameron Craighead back in 6th. Frankie Klein sits there in position number 7 with Blaine Wilson. Woo, hang on to it. Wilson trying to do his best Fast and the Furious there, drifting down through the corners in the 18 ride, as he is slipping and sliding around. Same with everybody else here, but he's worked himself back up inside the top 8 as Austin Avery right there in that 798 ride rolls in position number 9 with Victor Fluger. Fluger, even with that damage from that first caution flag of the day. The 20 ride rolls inside the top 10 now after getting around the 30 of Mr. Ryan Gillette. As Gillette rolls there at 11th, Ryan Peters right there behind him, Patrick Metrovics and Curtis Rogers, Stephen Hines rounding out our top 15. Russell Peets, Ken Zeems, Kevin Menapace, Tommy Thompson, and David Guzman rounding out our top 20 here on the racetrack as we get ready to see stage number 1 come to a close. And there is that caution flag. So picking up the first stage win here this afternoon is that 5 ride. Braxton DeWeese. Is DeWeese able to get it done, as we did see Curtis Kelly run into some issues here on that final lap. Now, I'm not sure if this was lap traffic that may have got into play here. He tried to open up the door to get around this 5 ride to steal the stage win. Unfortunately, he washes up the racetrack. The 56. Oh, the 56 ends up making a little contact right there with him. I don't think he realized that the 71 was going to be right there, and kind of comes down off the fence and unfortunately makes contact with the 71. Oh man, that's a heartbreaker for our second place driver. They make a little contact right there. Then the 71's going to actually end up making some pretty good left front contact there with the safer barrier. Slides around here on the front straightaways. The 5 right of Braxton DeWeese ends up picking up the stage win. You see all these other drivers inside the top 5 roll right around him. He's able to hold on to that 5th position, but now does have that damage on the 71 right as well. We'll have to wait and see how that affects him here this afternoon. As Braxton, our race leader, out there on the speedway showing these drivers that he's the car to beat here this evening. But right now he's got Alex Coffey, Noah Miller, Christian Marcelli, and Curtis Kelly rounding out our top 5 out there on the racetrack, as we'll get them stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing for stage number 2, which could potentially be our longest run of the day, of 30 lap stage here coming up. So stage breaks on laps 17 and 47, which is going to leave us with a late race short run finish here. We're going to see probably about a 10 lap run to the end, binding a couple caution flags. Could potentially be a couple crazy restarts late in this race, but this middle stage could be make or break for a lot of these drivers, whether it's fuel strategy or tire strategy or just trying to keep up the pace, not make those mistakes throughout this second stage, and trying to keep yourself on that lead lap here throughout this second stage to be able to be there and to be able to gain those positions later on in the afternoon, as we'll get everyone stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to battle here. We're going to see them come down pit side, make some pit stops, and get ready to go to battle, as we'll get a quick word in here from our sponsors over at Prestige Enterprises here on PeaceMaker Gaming.
Hey guys, my name is Harley with Prestige Enterprises. Not only are we a proud sponsor of the Powerhouse Motorsports, we're also proud to be one of the sponsors for Premier Stock Car Racing League. We provide our services to over 70% of the US, and we have a wide range of services, but our main focuses are custom homes, barn doors and shops, and commercial development. But it doesn't stop there. So pull out your phones and use this QR code on your screen to take a quick look at our website. We can't wait to make your dreams come true. Now that we have helped pay some bills, let's throw it back to you, Aaron.
Alrighty, yes, here you go. We are going to see these lead lap drivers start to head down pit side, being led by that number 5 right of Braxton DeWeese, as DeWeese and slides down pit side. As shout out to my boy Kevin Odelski. Kevin Odell coming in, dropping that thumbs up on the broadcast. I appreciate that, Odell. I'm not sure if you're still in here watching or not, but I appreciate that. My boy coming in, showing the love, dropping that thumbs up on the broadcast. And S. Hines also coming in, showing the love as well, hitting that subscribe button over on YouTube, becoming a brand new member of the PeaceMaker family, showing the love here in this one and becoming a brand new member over there on the YouTube channel. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. Become part of the PeaceMaker family today, as we get ready to go back to green flag racing here in just a couple more moments.
burning rubber, smell it in the air. That's how we living. Machines roar, engines spitting fire, unforgiving. Tracks hot, lava tires gripping tight, zero slipping. Moonlit nights, neon lights, streets forbidden. Octane Outlaws, kings of the bend. No pretend, gloves off, helmets on, rivals round the bend. V8 symphony, metal orchestra, adrenaline blend. Speed demons, night prowling, never gotta blend. Fast lane royale, racing through the night. Checkered flag dreams, eyes on the prize. Pedals to the metal hearts, in overdrive. Octane Outlaws, we never compromise. Pit stop strategy, fuel up tires fresh. Seconds counting every drop of sweat and vest. Rivals in the rear view, only smoke they catch. Speed king's crown, never not obsessed. Turbocharged hearts beat with nitro veins. Circular dance, grip tight reins. Swerves and drifts, battle scars remain. Victory in our blood flowing like champagne. Grand slam chasers, roar of the beast. Curves we conquer, locking in the feast. High stakes gamble, front to east. Cold steel passion, never rest in peace. Octane Outlaws, kings of the bend. No pretend, gloves off, helmets on, rivals round the bend. V8 symphony, metal orchestra, adrenaline blend. Speed demons, night prowling, never gotta blend. Fast lane royale, racing through the night. Checkered flag dreams, eyes on the prize. Pedals to the metal hearts, in overdrive. Octane Outlaws, we never compromise. Pit stop strategy, fuel up tires fresh. Seconds counting every drop of sweat and vest. Rivals in the rear view, only smoke they catch. Speed king's crown, never not obsessed. Turbocharged hearts beat with nitro veins. Circular dance, grip tight reins. Swerves and drifts, battle scars remain. Victory in our blood flowing like champagne. Grand slam chasers, roar of the beast. Curves we conquer, locking in the feast. High stakes gamble, front to east. Cold steel passion, never rest in peace.
Alrighty, as we're going to get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here from Watkins Glen International Speedway. These drivers are ready to duke it out here this afternoon as, man, this has been a crazy race so far. We've seen a lot of back and forth through the field here. Drivers making their way up towards the front, other drivers falling backwards, but a lot of drivers just trying to keep themselves out of trouble out there on the speedway. As right now, Alex Coffey is our race leader here. He will get ready for the restart out in front, trying to show these drivers how to get it done as Curtis Kelly, who is inside here, he will start in position number 2 as we get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing for stage number 2, as a couple of those drivers that we saw collected in that first caution flag, the 18 ride, Blaine Wilson, he was back up inside the top 10. Car still looked very, very fast, trying to rebound here as he's back in the 15th position as of right now. We did see that 20 ride of Victor Pfluger spent quite a bit of time, but looks like he's gotten that 20 ride quite fixed back up as he's looking to try to race his way back up towards the front of the field as they look to try to join their teammate out in front as quickly the green flag back out. The 5 rider Braxton Deweese was poking his nose down low like he was thinking about trying to go 3 wide there for the race lead into quarter number 1. Better to think twice about that one, and luckily enough for our top 3 did not make that move. They were able to keep themselves pointed in the right direction, but look out, Christian Marcelli running into some problems right there. Contact, and he washes up hard into the wall. Let's play this back and take a look here, as I do believe that is the number. Is that the 4 ride or the 48 machine? That's the 48 ride, Cameron Craighead, who's going to get a little piece of him right there, and unfortunately for the 22, just going to get bumped loose, slides up into that wall. Unfortunately, those things, they do not move an inch, and that created quite a bit of right side damage for that 22 machine, and we did see some more damage afterwards as well. More drivers running into problems. That was Russell Peets in the 191 ride going around there as well, so Peets also having an issue here as driver saw some smoke, saw a little bit of a checkup right there, but he ends up making a huge mistake, and you watch a lot of different drivers end up getting a piece of that. Let's take a look back right here. So the 191, watch him right here coming out of the corner. He's just going to get a little too close here. He's actually going to just, looks like the rear end just steps out right there, maybe a little neck code, and unfortunately, luckily enough, looks like Blaine Wilson just able to avoid that. But you see the 20 ride of Fluger gets into the back end of the 2 ride, the Black Rifle Coffee Company machine hard into the back end of the 191. That helps him go around up into the outside fence as well, as we did see Fluger, who just got that car repaired, get tied up in another incident. Pretty heavy front end damage again for that 20 ride as we keep on rocking and rolling, and Alex Coffey continue to lead the way. Get that map, my guy. Get that guy a map. Yeah, there's a couple guys that have needed a map here throughout the evening. And ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize once again. I do have COVID, so if you hear me go blank on the microphone here and there, it's because I'm going through a coughing fit. I don't want you guys to have to listen to it or anything else, so I mute myself so you guys don't have to listen to me cough my lungs out here. So luckily enough, you guys didn't have to worry about that. As out in front, it's Alex Coffey who continues to lead the way here, and Coffey has been able to open up a pretty sizable lead now between himself and Braxton Deweese. Now, I'm not sure if Deweese is just trying to keep himself out of trouble, just trying to keep that car kind of rolling out there, maybe trying to save those tires, knowing that this could be a very long run and a long stint here this afternoon, and just trying to keep his tires underneath him, trying to keep that car in one piece as the 54 ride trying to run away with it here. Noah Miller back there in position number 3 with Cameron Crankhead and Austin Avery rounding out our top 5. Now on the racetrack is Curtis Kelly. Ended up going off the racetrack as well. Kelly ended up running into some problems here. Let's take a look here at the 71 ride. He's going to lose that rear end up and off the banking. He has to lock him up right there. Luckily enough, avoids any serious contact or damage for the 71, but does lose a ton of track position and unfortunately slides quite a ways back there. We did see a couple other drivers run into some problems here as well. Since that point, we saw Ryan Gillette in the 30 ride end up getting a good piece of the wall right here, as I do believe going to do virtually the same thing. I don't know if he had any help right here or not, but we're going to watch and see as the 30 ride just looks like he's going to lose the rear end here. And I transfer from the pavement to the bit of a berm right there, that little, I don't even know what you'd want to call it, chicane right there. Just that transfer going from it in the track can make you very, very loose. And unfortunately for the 30 ride, he finds out, makes some pretty heavy contact with the wall, and then takes that car down pit side in a tough break there for the 30 machine of Gillette. He was up inside the top 10, battling pretty hard out there on the racetrack, but able to keep that thing rolling out there and hopefully see that 30 ride jump back out there onto the racetrack, as he is still down on pit road. As we are down to about, as of right now, we only have about 21 drivers still active on the speedway. We started with 29 cars. We're down to 21. We're running out of them here at rapid pace this afternoon. But out in front, it's all Alex Coffey. Coffey with a 2.8-second advantage now between himself and Braxton Deweese. Deweese in that Bennett's number 5 ride rolls there in position number 2 with Miller. Cameron Crankhead quite a ways back there behind that 5 ride and behind our race leader already here in this one is Christian Marcelli, who we saw run into those problems off the initial refire there, that restart. We saw him get up into the outside fence there down through corner number 3 and 4, and Luckily enough, doesn't look like too much damage to the 22, able to keep that car pointing in the right direction. We saw Curtis Kelly run into his problems. Now he's trying to work his way back up towards the top 5 as he just made the move around that 798 of Austin Avery for the 6th spot on the speedway, and now trying to hunt down that 22 ride once again on the racetrack is Ryan Peters in the 05. Rolls in position number 8. Blaine Wilson back up inside the top 10 there for the Tilley's machine as he rolls in that 9th position. Frankie Klein there rounding out our top 10. The HendrickCars.com number 17 having a great run here this afternoon as that Camaro rolls in that number 10th position as the 32 Ryan getting a little loose there down out of corner number 1, and luckily enough for Curtis Rogers, able to keep it pointed the right direction. We do see Steven Hines unfortunately back there in that 2 ride, end up with some pretty heavy front end damage there on that mix up right there on that restart as well between him and the 191 of Russell Peets and the 20 ride of Victor Pfluger, as Pfluger once again with that front end damage sits back there in the 13th spot. Ken Zeems in the 90 ride rolls there in 14th with Kevin Menapace back in the 15th spot on the racetrack. Patrick Mitrovic in the 4 ride. Oh, look out! Mitrovic hard into that wall there, right into the safer barrier coming through the bus stop, and unfortunately heavy left front damage for that Terrifier 3. The work of art machine as that thing's got that heavy front end damage here. We'll have to see if he takes that thing down pit side, but he does lose a couple spots as Tommy Thompson was able to get around him. There goes Russell Peets as well. The 13 of David Goodman also getting around him now into the 18th position as Patrick slides back into 19th. Corey Moore, unfortunately, having that early race incident. The 84 ride going a couple laps down here. He's looking to try to get those laps back, hoping for some more caution flags and potentially some waiver rounds and opportunities to work on that 84 ride, get himself right back into the action here this evening, as Daniel Lolis also back in 21st, a couple laps down. Ryan Gillette down pit road. Here comes that 4 ride of Patrick Mitrovic as well, also down pit side, getting some repairs done to his car. Is out in front, continuing to stretch that lead. It's the 54 of Alex Coffey. Is Coffey out in front, continuing to show these drivers how to get it done. Cheyenne says, is that Jimmy Johnson? It is Jimmy Johnson out there. There is a Jimmy Johnson. It's not technically the Jimmy Johnson. It's Corey Moore out there on the racetrack in that Caravana Shack, the Shaquille O'Neal number 84 ride of Jimmy Johnson out there on the speedway. And unfortunately for Corey, he got tied up in the first caution flag of the day. Got some pretty extensive front end damage. Went a couple laps down, but trying to rebound out there on the racetrack as I wish Blaine was better. My favorite virtual NASCAR driver, Patrick, got a meaty. I don't know what that means, Nigel. I don't know. I don't even know if I want to know what that means, okay? Come on now. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. As we get some great racing action, we try to look up and down through the field and see where these drivers are potentially running into problems and who may be having problems out there, as we did see Noah Miller in the 8 ride. He's ran into some issues here. He was running in our 3rd position, but it's not really a bad spot right there. Just up and off the banking right there a little bit. You saw the 71 do it again right there behind him, and they're both able to keep themselves on the racetrack and keep on racing. But you do see the 48 able to take advantage of that for a quick second and snag that 3rd spot away from Miller. But Miller will quickly use the inside lane down into corner number 1 and take that spot back away from the 48 as Alex Coffey continuing to lead this race and stretch that race lead out here. 4 seconds the gap now between himself and Braxton DeWeese, as Braxton looking to try to hunt him down, but right now I don't know if he's just playing that cat and mouse game, just trying to take care of his equipment, trying to keep the tires underneath of him here or save some fuel, trying to make it to the end of this stage on lap number 47, as we'll keep an eye on everything happening out there on the speedways. We do see another driver running into some problems out there, the 42 rider Kevin Menapace. Looks like he got a little contact there, went up and off the racetrack, but looks like he's able to get it figured out, has it pointed back in the right direction once again, keeps on rocking and rolling here in this one, as In front, that 54 will click another lap off here, and we are just over halfway in and halfway to go here this afternoon. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to jump into a quick PeaceMaker Gaming Crank It Up. So what we want you guys to do is crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite driver as we crank it up here on PeaceMaker Gaming. As Kelly Coffee says, take some goodies powder. Best thing for COVID. What the is goodies powder? Kelly, I'm from Canada. I don't know what that is, but you're going to have to explain to me what goodies powder is. I'm glad I saw that because I have no idea what that is. What is that? What is goodies powder? Is it like powdered donuts? I don't know. I'm not from America. I don't know what it is. What is it? I need to know now. That 54 is digging, says Nigel. Yeah, the 54 is digging out there as we're going to get ready to crank it up, ladies and gentlemen. Turn up that volume and cheer on your favorite driver. Let's crank it up, ladies and gentlemen. 54 right continues to lead the way after a beautiful crank it up session right there. That 54, he is a man on a mission, putting a lot of drivers lap down, but we have seen a lot of different drivers make their way down pit side for some green flag pit stops. Now, that could be just part of the strategy or part of the game plan here this afternoon, but for drivers like Corey Moore, unfortunately, they were already lapped down. Him and Ryan Peters, Daniel Lolis, they're kind of in a tough spot now as more and more drivers go a lap down. It's really hurting their odds of potentially getting a free pass or a lucky dog out there on the racetrack when it comes to our stage break or another caution flag out there on the racetrack as Coffee continues to show these drivers now how to get it done. That first stage, he really wasn't up there. He was inside the top 5, top 3. He looked pretty strong, but he wasn't quite as fast as what Braxton DeWeese and that number 71 rider Curtis Kelly were, as they were able to kind of run away with that first stage. But here in the second stage, Coffee has been the car to beat, and he has opened up a massive advantage between himself and Mr. DeWeese. That is a pretty sizable difference there between these two cats, man. It is sitting at right now about 8 seconds, almost 9 seconds out there. But we do see our race leader Coffee headed down pit side as Nigel, my boy, coming in with a 199 US, coming in flexing it here in this one, coming in with that big D of the day, says Blaine Wilson. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. We just started a brand new goal over there on YouTube. If we can hit that goal, then we'll interview a few more drivers post race. Obviously, we normally do the top 3, but if we can reach that goal, then we'll add in a few extra drivers of your guys' choice, and we'll try to get them up here into the broadcast booth. If they're still in the Discord or if they want to hop in there, we'll make sure they want to first. But if you guys want, make sure jump in there, help us out, hit that goal, and we'll get some of your extra favorite drivers up and into the broadcast booth here this afternoon. Is Noah Miller now our race leader, as we did see that number 5 rider Braxton Elise came down pit road, as well as Alex Coffey. Now, this is how far out in front they were from everybody else. Coffey coming back out onto the racetrack. He only fell as far back as 3rd on the speedway here. So able to make that green flag pit stop, no sweat off his back. He only lost 2 spots out there on the speedway, and then you see Braxton DeWeese a couple spots back there behind him in that 5th position in that 5 ride, trying to work himself around that number 33 machine of the 13 ride there. That is the MS machine of David Goodman, the multiple sclerosis awareness ride there on the racetrack. As everyone's starting to make those green flag pit stops, we're starting to cycle through them here as we do see the P-Lab machine head down pit side here. Noah Miller going to stay out for at least another lap in that beautiful number 8 machine, as Kelly Coffey said. So there isn't a stage caution. There is a stage caution. There will be a stage caution at lap number 47, which will be 13 laps left to go. So 13 laps left to go. We will get that stage caution coming out. I'm emailing the admins right now, Kelly. There is a stage caution. Don't worry. Just like in stage 1. Stage 1 on lap 17, we saw that caution flag come out as well. And stage 2 will also have that yellow flag. But we're still a ways away from that caution flag, and drivers needing that fuel. They need to make that pit stop. They need to come down pit side and make sure they get the fuel and maybe not quite tires, but never hurts to have those fresh slicks out there on the racetrack to help you make these corners that much easier. Kelly says, I'm confused as usual. It's okay. It's okay. Hey, we're all confused from time to time. It's okay. No one's fault. No one's fault. But yes, lap 17, lap number 47 are our stages, and they both have stage breaks. We already saw stage 1 come to a close, but we see stage 2 come to a close at lap 47, which is 13 laps left to go. We will see that caution flag come back out. But everyone clearly cannot make it to that point as the 8 ride finally makes his way down pit side and making his pit stop. And you do see that car getting jacked up and 4 tires being put on it, getting it filled with fuel, as well as Frankie Klein, who's down pit side as well. So that's pretty much got everybody onto pit lane. Everyone's making their pit stops here. Now the only drivers that are still rolling out there that have yet to make this additional pit stop is this 90 ride of Ken Zeems and the 191 of Russell Peets as well. Both drivers yet to come back down pit road here. Last down pit lane on lap 19. Same with David Guzman, as they may be just trying to play a little bit of a strategy of their own, trying to stay potentially on the lead lap here, where other drivers know that they don't want to get leapfrogged in loose track position with that caution flag coming out at the end of the stage. So even if they can make it on fuel, it's probably not the best idea to be one of 10 cars or 5 cars that have to make that green flag or caution flag pit stop during that second stage break. And all of a sudden, those drivers that have came down pit side, they may be able to stay out. And all of a sudden, you come back out there and you're lining up in 15th or back in 20th. You got a lot of drivers in front of you that you're going to have to try to pass again. So it's a lot of strategy game, a lot of different things, and their calculators are working tough out there on the racetrack. But nonetheless, it's going to be a crazy show here at the end of this stage, and going to the final checkered flag on the short run is going to be very interesting to see who's going to put the pedal to the metal and who's going to be able to put themselves up into the Watkins Glen International Speedway victory lane here this afternoon. Alex Coffey looking to try to make it 2 for 2 to start this Grand Slam series here with the Octane Outlaws here on the year, as Braxton Louise back there in second. He's about 7 seconds behind that 54 ride. Curtis Kelly, he's up into position number 3 now on the racetrack. So a good pitch strategy for the 71, laying down some great lap times, and he finds himself there in third with Christian Marcelli up into 4th. Blaine Wilson rounding out our top 5. Cameron Crankhead there in 6th with Austin Avery back in 7th. Noah Miller rolls in position number 8 in that 8 ride with Frankie Klein back in position number 9. The 20 ride of Victor Pfluger now into the 10th spot with Ken Zeems in 11th. Then we see Stephen Hines, Curtis Rogers, Russell Peets, who's now down on pit road here in the 191 ride. Corey Moore, he scored in that 15th position with David Guzman, Tommy Thompson, Daniel Lolis, Kevin Menapace, Patrick Mitrovics rounding out our top 20 on the racetrack. Is Alex Coffey out in front, looking to just try to run away with this one. Unfortunately, though, that gap that he has built between himself and that number 5 rider, Braxton Louise, will be eliminated here in just a few more laps. So it's going to be tough to really see these drivers. There's such a gap in between them that since they came down pit road, since they made that green flag pit stop, they don't really need to push the subject right now. They can kind of be on cruise control. They know they have, big enough gaps between themselves and the cars behind them, so they can kind of just roll around the speedway, hit their marks, not make any mistakes, keep the tires nice and clean underneath of them, and try to save them here for late in this race where they're going to need them the most out there on the racetrack. So as the 54 ride just on cruise control, only a couple more laps away from seeing this stage break coming up here. So stage number 2 is going to come to a close in 2 more laps, and that will officially close pit lane unless one of these drivers runs into a serious problem or wants to get the penalty for making that pit stop, as we do see pretty much everybody now has made that additional pit stop here on the racetrack. Everyone has came down pit road, and unfortunately for a lot of drivers, they are still down and out of this race. We do see Ryan Gillette. I do believe Gillette is the final driver out there on the racetrack here in that 30 ride, so he is currently scored in the 21st position. Yeah, Gillette scored there in that 21st spot out there on the racetrack. currently the final driver still rolling out there on the speedway, multiple laps down. He does have the 4 ride of Patrick Metrovic on the same lap down as what the 30 ride is, so potentially if he gets that caution flag, could get lined back up with that 4 ride and get an opportunity to make another pass out there on the racetrack if more drivers run into problems, potentially opening up the door for more positions here late in the race for that 30 machine. As out in front, that 54 of Alex Coffey, he's just continuing to cruise here. He's not laying down crazy lap times out there on the speedway, just trying to keep a solid pace, not push the subject too much, trying to keep those tires underneath of him as he heads down. There's a little bit of a back straightaway down into corner number 7 or 8, I think it's 8, and then into corner number 9 here at Watkins Glen International Speedway, the final corner on the racetrack. That'll take him down the front straightaway, and we should see that caution flag fly here this time down across the line. And there it is, caution flag coming out. Stage number 2 will come to a close in last week's winner, the 54 ride of Alex Coffey, picking right up where he left off, and Coffey going to pick up the second stage win of the day. Braxton DeWeese will come home in second with Curtis Kelly there in third. Down across the line is the 22 of Christian Marcelli there in fourth. Blaine Wilson coming down across the line. Wilson will come home in that 5th position with Cameron Crankhead now down across the line there in 6th. Looking for that 798. There he is. He will come home there in the 7th position. That's Austin Avery. Then we see the 33, which is actually the 17 ride of Frankie Klein. Klein rounding corner number 9 right now in that HendrickCars.com machine. He will come home in the 8th position here on stage number 2. Then we see the 9th position going to Noah Miller, Victor Fluger right there, rounding out our top 10 here at the end of stage number 2 this afternoon. So we'll get them all stacked back up. We'll see where the pit strategy kind of cycles everybody through, and we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing in just a little bit. Shane says with the little poop emoji, we like the poop emoji. I don't even know what that other emoji is. Is that like a pirate? What in the world is going on there, Nigel? What is that emoji here? I can't even tell what that thing is. That's a wild emoji, brother. I'm not gonna lie, that's a wild emoji. But man, this is gonna be a lot of fun. This is gonna be interesting to see. And now we're gonna really see a short run to the end here. A very short run. It's gonna be wild to see what these drivers are gonna be able to do here and see if they can try to put themselves into victory lane. Is it going to come down to strategy? Is it going to come to anything else here in this one? As Nigel says, let's go, Blaine. Only 35 seconds back. Well, luckily enough, he's no longer 35 seconds back anymore. Blaine will be right there in the picture frame. He's right there in that number 18 ride, and he'll be right there in the middle of that fight, man. It's going to be interesting to see on really what these guys are going to be able to do, how they're going to be able to battle and compete out there on the racetrack here this afternoon. So we'll see how it all plays out here in just a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere, and let us know in the comment section right now who you're cheering for and who you want to see up here in victory lane as we get ready for the final stage, the late race charge to the finish line here this afternoon, as we'll go back to probably green flag racing with about 10 laps left to go, and that's really going to spice things up here. That's going to be very, very spicy. Shane says that 54 is cheated up. Someone's going to have to check the tires on him. He might be tire dope, and that's for certain. James Small in the pit box. $100,000 fine incoming post-race. Ouch. Ouch. Yeah, that $100,000 fine goes payment to PeaceMaker Gaming, right? I like that. I like that thought. I like that thought process right there, Shane. We'll take that donation, as you do see the 54 making some moves right there, trying to fake a couple drivers out. Luckily enough, he gets a few drivers to bite right here, but is it going to help him? Is it going to hurt him here? We do see Coffey stay out. Same with Braxton DeWeese, Blaine Wilson staying out there as well. They were back, or they were last on pit road on lap number 40 there, so they had about 7 laps of green flag racing on these new tires. Did they burn him up? Did they use too much too early out there on the racetrack? Cameron Crankhead staying out. Frankie Klein, Noah Miller also staying out, as we did see that 71 of Curtis Kelly, Victor Pfluger, Christian Marcelli, Austin Avery. A lot of drivers coming down pit side, making those pit stops, and we did see Corey Moore, he's down there. We see Russell Peets down, Ken Zeems down on pit lane. This is going to mix things up. This is going to make things interesting. How this one's going to play out, how this one's going to shape up, and who will find their way into victory lane this afternoon, as we'll get them all ready to rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen, in just a couple more moments.
Burning rubber, smell it in the air. That's how we living. Machines roar, edges spitting fire, unforgiving. Tracks hot, lava tires gripping tight, zero slipping. Moonlit nights, neon lights, streets forbidden. Octane Outlaws, kings of the bend. No pretend, gloves off, helmets on, rivals round the bend. V8 symphony, metal orchestra, adrenaline blend. Speed demons, night prowling, never gotta blend. Fast lane royale, racing through the night. Checkered flag dreams, eyes on the prize. Pedals to the metal hearts, in overdrive. Octane Outlaws, we never compromise. Pit stop strategy, fuel up tires fresh. Seconds counting every drop of sweat and vest. Rivals in the rear view, only smoke they catch. Speed king's crown, never not obsessed. Turbocharged hearts beat with nitro veins. Circular dance, grip tight reins. Swerves and drifts, battle scars remain. Victory in our blood flowing like champagne. Grand slam chasers, roar of the beast. Curves we conquer, locking in the feast. High stakes gamble, front to east. Cold steel passion, never rest in peace. Octane Outlaws, kings of the bend. No pretend, gloves off, helmets on, rivals round the bend. V8 symphony, metal orchestra, adrenaline blend. Speed demons, night prowling, never gotta blend. Fast lane royale, racing through the night. Checkered flag dreams, eyes on the prize. Pedals to the metal hearts, in overdrive. Octane Outlaws, we never compromise. Pit stop strategy, fuel up tires fresh. Seconds counting every drop of sweat and vest. Rivals in the rear view, only smoke they catch. Speed king's crown, never not obsessed. Turbocharged hearts beat with nitro veins. Circular dance, grip tight reins. Swerves and drifts, battle scars remain. Victory in our blood flowing like champagne. Grand slam chasers, roar of the beast. Curves we conquer, locking in the feast. High stakes gamble, front to east. Cold steel passion, never rest in peace.
Alrighty, you see these drivers once again stacked up 2 by 2, ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here this afternoon. As out in front, it's Alex Coffey. Coffey continues to lead the way. Braxton Deweese will line up to his outside here at Watkins Glen, as we do see Blaine Wilson, Frankie Klein, Noah Miller, our top 5 with Curtis Kelly, who was just down on pit road. He will get ready to rock and roll from the 6th position with Austin Avery, Christian Marcelli, Victor Pfluger, Stephen Hines, and Cameron Crankhead back in the 11th position. He was able to get that lucky dog, the free pass back onto the lead lap, and he is the last driver currently on the lead lap. So 11 drivers left on the lead lap here this afternoon, getting ready to go to battle here at Watkins Glen International Speedway, as only 10 more laps left to go. 9 down across the line as we go back to Green Flag Racing here at the Glen for the Grand Slam Series, powered by the Octane Outlaws. Is contact right there. Look out, there goes the 54 hard up into the fence, and so goes the 5 right as contact at the front of the field, and the caution flag will come right back out here in this one. So it did not take long for things to get a little bit wild here in this final restart, or what could have been the final restart, but the first restart of this stage, as the 5-ride gets the great launch that the outside lane normally gets, but the inside lane being able to take that corner nice and easily. The 5-ride, though, looking to close the gap. He realized that he had a bit of a shot right there. Guys tries to squeeze the 54 down there. 54 gets a good run, gets a piece of him, though. And that's what knocks the rear end loose on that 5-ride. They see Coffee. He's trying to get checked up. He's trying to let the 5-ride save it, and then he's going to get shoved here as well. And you see Blaine Wilson just nowhere to go. He slams in the back end of his teammate. Heavy front end and rear end damage there for the 54 and the 18. The 17 of Frankie Klein nowhere to go as he slams into the side of that number 54 of Coffee, and that just drives Coffee right up into the outside fence. You still see Wilson going around here as well. He actually makes contact with his other teammate out on the racetrack. That's a pretty heavy hit right there for the 54 and the 17, and you do see the 5 turned around. He's got some pretty good rear end damage there for Braxton DeWeese, and you do see some pretty good damage for Blaine Wilson as well, as Wilson just nothing that he could really do right there. He's trying to carry as much speed and momentum that he can, and he gets the good run off the corner, and all of a sudden his teammate's brake checking right there, ends up getting another piece of his other teammate in the 20 ride, which is Victor Pfluger, and that sends Pfluger around to unfortunately get some more damage there. His day has just been kind of fulfilled with that damage and being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and unfortunately for the 20 ride, he gets another piece of it right here as he's just trying to snake by there, trying to stay out of it, drives down low, and teammate comes down, clips him there in the front end, in the left rear, and fortunately, heavy damage there for him. He also gets clipped by the 13 ride as well. And some good cars getting tore up right there, and a couple of our front runners all of a sudden having problems and now having to take their rides down pit side and trying to get these things repaired and back up and into the battle. So we now have a new race leader, and it's the 8 rider, Noah Miller. Miller now out in front. He leads the way here. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the big thing that's going to become a problem here, I think, for a lot of these drivers is that there's no NASCAR overtime here. So if we get too many caution flags in these closing laps, this race may end under yellow. So with no NASCAR overtime here at Watkins Glen, that is a very serious possibility here in this one, as man, that is a tough break for Blaine, a tough break there for Coffee, for Braxton DeWeese. Obviously just racing hard for the race lead and contact being made. That's how quickly things happen here in NASCAR, and all of a sudden, a lot of our top 3, top 4 just got destroyed out there on the racetrack. We see Coffee down pit road. You see Victor Pfluger there as well as the 18 of Blaine Wilson. And all of a sudden, for these drivers, the teammates out there, all 3 of them getting tied up in that wreck. And unfortunately, all 3 of them having some pretty serious damage. And unfortunately, that's going to be pretty extensive work that they're going to have to try to get repaired here all afternoon for the Dig Racing crew, as we'll see them see if they can jump back out there onto the racetrack, see if they can get back into the battle here this afternoon, as Noah Miller is scored as our race leader. Christian Marcelli now in position number 2. With Curtis Kelly up into 3rd. Austin Avery, even with the front end damage that he got there out of the contact with the 5 ride, he's into position number 4 with Frankie Klein, who had some pretty good contact himself there, some pretty good damage on that right front from the contact between him and the 54 ride, and then to the outside fence. He's still rolling out there in that 3rd position. Cameron Crankhead scored in position number 6 with Steven Hines back in 7th. Braxton Louise scored there in 8th with Curtis Rogers, Blaine Wilson, Victor Pfluger, Alex Coffey rounding out our top 12. Now, luckily enough for the 54, Coffey and Pfluger and Wilson. Even for Braxton DeWeese, luckily enough, there was only 11 drivers still on the lead lap there, so they're not going to lose too many they're not going to lose any laps. They're not going to lose too many positions here. They just lost a lot of track position out there on the speedway. Now they're going to have to try to battle back in a short period of time to get towards the front of the field and have to still pass a lot of very fast drivers that were showing some good speed throughout this race at the front of the field here. We'll see if they can try to get it done here in this one, and it's going to be tough to do. It's going to be tough for a lot of these guys to get back up in here, as those guys taking a nap. They were down there. They were trying to get their cars repaired, and no, I don't think there was any fast repairs, unfortunately. No quick repairs, so they got to be able to go down there and get some work done, and got to be down there for an extended period of time. Man, that's going to be tough for these guys to try to bounce back from that. When you look at Pfluger and Blaine Wilson, Alex Coffey, they're still trying to catch up to the pack here. They were down pit road for such an extended period of time trying to get their cars repaired, even still having quite a bit of that damage on their race cars here. They're trying to catch up to the rest of the field, and luckily enough, they're still going through the S's right now, so they should be able to catch up to the back of the pack. I'm not sure where they're going to get lined up, because they may have to get lined up behind all the other lap down traffic here, and that will put them at even more of a disadvantage as more drivers, more cars that they're going to have to try to work themselves around. Kelly says this will be an interesting restart. Definitely going to be an interesting restart. That is for certain, as Shane says, send it, Coffey. All gas, no brakes. Listen, we saw Kyle Busch do that quite a few years ago at Daytona on a restart. It'd be pretty funny to see someone do it here at Watkins Glen. I don't know if you could carry as much speed as that. I think you would want to be able to make a bunch of passes here at Watkins Glen late in the race down the front straightaway, and then being able to get onto the binders quick enough to make that corner as well would definitely be a tough situation. But we're going to get ready, see what happens here on this restart, which could be potentially our final restart of the afternoon, as here you go, down across the line. It will be 5 laps left to go as we see that green flag come back out here at Watkins Glen International Speedway. It's the 8th ride of Noah Miller who will lead us down to the flag. Here comes a big move through the middle. The 798 making a big shot right there, looking for a big hole down through the middle, and Austin Avery going to pay the price for that one. And there goes Cameron Craighead. Craighead turned around here, no caution flag on the racetrack. No one coming in behind him, no caution flag. A tough break right there for our 12th place driver now as Craighead goes around Braxton DeWeese, running into some problems here as well. He gets shuffled backwards. Potentially that damage on his ride sending him towards the back of the pack here on the lead lap. So a tough break there for Braxton DeWeese, as well as out in front it is Noah Miller. Miller continues to lead the way as the 71 of Curtis Kelly sticking right there with him. Kelly's trying to stay on his back bumper as Christian Marcelli up and into third. Blaine Wilson there in fourth, so he's made a quick rebound back up inside the top 5, and he's looking to try to hunt down our race leaders here in the closing laps. Is Stephen Hines in that 2 ride, the Black Rifle Coffee Company number 2 machine up inside the top 5 now on the racetrack. Victor Pfluger's there in 8th. Alex Coffey back up into 9th. We'll see if they continue to race their way back up towards the front as we see some contact back there behind them. Drivers trying to work their way here into the front of the field in a quick hurry as we see a pass for the race lead as the 71 of Curtis Kelly able to take that race lead away. So Kelly now out in front late in this race, and Curtis Kelly may be trying to pull away here from that 8 ride, looking to just try to put a big enough gap between himself and Noah Miller that even if a caution flag comes out or if he gets a couple good runs, that he can have that gap and a little bit of a cushion here between himself and that 8 ride. You see the 8 of Miller trying to really push that subject, trying to carry as much speed as possible, kicking the rear end out, losing a little bit of speed there by doing so, but he's trying to just carry as much speed as possible, trying to hang with that 71, but you can see Curtis Kelly just starting to pull away here. He does have 7-lap better tires than Noah Miller, and unfortunately for Miller, I think he's starting to feel that tire difference as the 22 of Christian Marcelli right there on his back bumper here. The 22 Ryan trying to hunt him down. Blaine Wilson, he's back there in position number 4 with Stephen Hines still rounding out our top 5. There we see Frankie Klein, Austin Avery, Alex Coffey now into 8th. He's looking to the outside of that 798 right as the 2 machine running into some problems there. He's slow up through the S's, too wide here through the S's. Doesn't normally work too well. They're going to get a little bit more single file as the 54 right still trying to find his way around this 798 machine, trying to find any lane to take a shot, an opportunity. And Austin continues to throw some blocks out there, trying to block that 54 from racing his way up to the front of the field and making that pass and losing another spot for the 798 ride. He's battling hard here on the racetrack late in this race as Curtis Kelly continuing to lead the way, but you do see Noah Miller. He hasn't really left him here. He's still within striking distance. If he can hit his marks and hope for a mistake out of the 71, he may have that door open once again here late in this race as he's giving it everything he's got. Is down across the line, only 2 more laps left to go. 2 more laps left here in this one, and Shane says Blaine is not digging. He's not digging too hard right now. I don't know if maybe he just doesn't have the tires, or maybe still dealing with a little bit of damage on that 18 ride that maybe this doesn't show it to us, but potentially some rear end damage or something under the hood for the 18 ride after that contact and the hard hit. Potentially still dealing with those issues and just trying to hold on to a 4th place run here as he's starting to lose touch with our top 2, top 3 out there on the speedway as you see his teammates back here still trying to race their way up towards the front as well as the 54 Coffey up into 7th, finally able to get around that 798 ride. Now you see Victor Pfluger trying to get around him here as well as Austin Avery going to slide back into that 9th position as Cameron Craighead rounding out our top 10. Braxton Deweese back in 11th with the 42 going around right there right in front of him, luckily enough able to dodge him and avoid that contact. Luckily enough there, stays out of that number 42 of Kevin Menapace there and keeps himself rocking and rolling out there on the racetrack. Is down the front straightaway here. And across the line, we will see that white flag fly. So one more time around here for the Octane Outlaws in the Grand Slam Series from Watkins Glen International. It's Curtis Kelly who leads the way up and through corner number 2 and corner number 3. The S's here at Watkins Glen down and through corner number 4. He's been able to stretch that lead here in this closing lap between himself and Noah Miller. The gap is about a 1-second lead down here into the bus stop on the back straightaway as Curtis Kelly looking to pick up the dub. Miller hanging on to 2nd right now with Christian Marcelli trying to hunt them both down but running out of time. Is down through corner number 6 here on the racetrack into corner number 7 here in a quick hurry. This could be one of the last-ditch efforts for the 8 ride to try to close that gap and try to find something here, but he is too far back there. Curtis Kelly able to just hit his marks, not make any mistakes. He will go down and out of corner number 9, our final corner of the afternoon. And here you go, ladies and gentlemen, down the front straightaway for the final time this afternoon, picking up the checker flag, the 5-hour energy number 71 ride. It's Curtis Kelly who's able to pick up the checkered flag and get the win this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for Curtis Kelly as he picks up the dub here this evening from Watkins Glen International Speedway. A very exciting closing laps here. That final stage ended up being very exciting. Obviously having the extra caution flag in there, the little bit of controversy and contact, really just to, spice things up here to finish off this race. In a race that we thought, it was going to be down between Alex Coffey and that number 5 ride of Braxton Deweese. We see Coffey come home in position number 5, able to round out the top 5 still for Alex Coffey, but for Braxton Deweese, he does come home in the 11th position as Curtis Kelly getting the job done, picking up the win. Noah Miller in position number 2, and as Christian Marcelli, who rounds out our top 3 here this afternoon, man. What a run, what a race by each and every one of these competitors, man. That was a ton of fun. That was a heck of a race, a heck of a show here for us. Man, that was a lot of fun, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for all these drivers putting on a show for us this afternoon, giving us a great race to watch and some great fun here on a Friday afternoon with the Octane Outlaws. Huge shout out to them, all the amazing drivers and sponsors and everybody that makes this series possible. As you see the 71 ride, he is going to burn down the house here at Watkins Glen International Speedway. He is pumped, picking up this checkered flag, and woo, baby, that's going to spice things up in the points as well, with Alex Coffey finishing back in that 5th position and not putting himself into victory lane once again this afternoon. So it's going to make things very fun here this evening. As Shane says, we sold, time to sell the team. Time to sell everything, unfortunately. Time to sell it all. Yeah, that's probably the best thing that you can do, honestly. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for Curtis Kelly picking up the win. Give it up for all these amazing drivers, and make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. Become a part of the PeaceMaker family today and show your appreciation and your love for the sport here by becoming a supporter, a follower, a subscriber here on PeaceMaker Gaming. Hit that join button, become part of the PeaceMaker member club, and definitely if you want to become part of the show as well, hit me up or jump in and make contact with the league over at Octane Outlaws and jump into the next races and become part of the show as well here on iRacing, as we'll get ready to pull our top 3 up into the broadcast booth here this afternoon. As congrats to Curtis, as Kelly Coffey. Yeah, huge congrats there to Curtis. Huge congrats. Some great racing. Nigel with the "you got this" emoji. Yes, Sirski, you got this. You got this, baby. As we'll get ready to pull Curtis up here into the broadcast booth. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here once again for that number 71 ride. Alrighty, we're just waiting for them to jump in here. Haven't seen them yet slide into the waiting room, so we'll have to wait and see if they jump in there. We're waiting on them, chat. We're waiting on them. We can't pull them in until they're in the Discord, and unfortunately right now there's only 3 drivers in the Discord, at least one of those being one of our top 3, but there it is. There's our race winner right there, ladies and gentlemen. Curtis Kelly jumping up here into the broadcast booth. Give it up here for the 71 ride. Hey, Curtis, it's Aaron up here in the PeaceMaker broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yep.
Curtis, man, what a run, what a race, man. Take us back through this one. Obviously, a lot of different strategy, a lot of different game plans here on the afternoon. And then late in this race, we see those different strategies come together, and we see everything kind of, being played out here where things get very, very interesting in a quick hurry with that additional caution flag coming out. We see obviously the 54, the 5, and the 18 all getting tied together, and it brings you right back into the picture frame to pick up this win, and you're able to go up there, make the move around the 8 ride and Noah, and be able to steal this win away from him and put yourself up and into the Watkins Glen victory lane, man. Take us back through this race. What's going through your mind right now as you sit down there in victory lane?
Surprised we had the shot at the end, honestly. The way the race played out, I kind of backed myself into a hole where I wasn't going to get the shot at the end. I didn't realize if we'd taken full fuel during the second stage there, that we'd probably be able to make it to the end. I made a decision to short fuel it there and just pick up all the fuel when we pitted the stage, which I thought most were going to do, but then it kind of surprised me when I saw 4 cars stay out, 5 cars stay out in front of me. But, it worked out in the end. We got lucky with the little bit of chaos. There's always a big chance for chaos turn 1 at Watkins Glen. It's a big conveyor belt of cars going into turn 1 where there's really not that much room for 2 or 3 wide with the way the line is there. And it's not too uncommon for cars to get a little sketchy as they go over onto the apron there, and that seems to be what happened. Feel bad for those guys. Would have liked to fight it out with Coffee and Deweese. I forget who it was. Yeah. But yeah, it was just a good race. First stage, we managed to stay within a second of the leader the whole time. Never felt like I had a great chance to really send it. I didn't want to be too aggressive early on. Unfortunately, got caught up at the end of stage one with a lap car and lost 3 or 4 positions at the stage, but it is what it is. The car was clean. And yeah, it's just a long race here, just trying to keep it clean and get to the end like you saw.
Yeah, bit of a long race, obviously a lot of work out there, shifting gears and turning not only left but also turning right out there, obviously going from, the ovals to the road courses, always a bit of, a hiccup area for a lot of different drivers. A lot of guys tend to not practice as much or be as comfortable on the road courses as the ovals, but here today, we saw a good amount of drivers, including yourself, that were right there, looked very competitive all evening long, and knowing that that final stage was going to be a short run to the checkered flag, you definitely had to have that sit in the back of your mind that you had a good enough car that you could have battled there and been part of that picture for the win. Nonetheless, whether or not there was that additional contact and late race, chaos there, that you could have been in that picture frame for the win this afternoon.
Yeah, I think we were in for a top 3 maybe had that not played out as chaotically as it did, but you never know. Just happy to bring it home up front and have a clean race, really.
Absolutely. Well, second race of the season here in the Grand Slam Series, and you're able to find victory lane, earn yourself some pretty good points here in this one, and you parked that 71 up in victory lane. Curtis, who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance here this afternoon?
I appreciate the league giving us a platform to come out and have fun. Appreciate you for putting on a great broadcast, I'm sure. I'll go take a look at it after I'm done here. And just the racers for being relatively clean. Like, nobody was driving like a crazy person out there. It was good racing, lots of hard racing, fast drivers. It was fun.
Absolutely. Looked like a lot of fun out there. Some great action all afternoon. As Curtis, you pick up the checkered flag. A huge congratulations. And hopefully we'll see you right back up here, multiple times potentially here throughout the rest of the season. And hopefully right back up here next Friday night.
Appreciate it. See you at Dega.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon and don't party too hard down there in Victory Lane.
For sure.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Curtis Kelly. Is Kelly getting the job done and putting that 71 ride up and in to victory lane here this afternoon. Now, I see Curtis Kelly shows his hometown is Fredericton, New Brunswick. So another Canadian out there on the racetrack. We love to see the Canadians represented here this afternoon. I didn't even notice that till right now. But heck yeah, that's what's up right there. Curtis, another one of our Canadian friends here. Fredericton, New Brunswick. At least I'm pretty sure that says New Brunswick on there. That's cool. I didn't know that. So that's interesting. That's a very interesting fact there out of him. As we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher now, the 8 ride, Noah Miller, as Chris DeWee says, great broadcast as always. I appreciate that, Chris. I appreciate that, brother. Listen, it's a whole lot easier doing this job not having COVID. It's a lot easier doing that. I'm not gonna lie. Not having to have the chest pains or the continuous ache in the back of your throat to cough and everything else. It is so annoying. It's so hard to control and keep under control throughout a broadcast and everything else. And obviously, some of the sinuses acting up and everything else here. It's tough. It's definitely not an easy thing to do with COVID. It's not easy to do when I'm perfectly fine and healthy, and it just makes it a whole lot tougher. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate everybody tuning in as we get ready to pull Noah up here into the broadcast booth for his second place run this afternoon. Hey Noah, it's Aaron up here in the PeaceMaker broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Noah, man, a pretty solid afternoon here for you, man. A great car, a fast car, up inside the top 5 pretty much all evening long. Only a few little mistakes out there. A couple times you slid back a few positions, but you're able to get them back out there on the racetrack. But late in this race, some contact in front of you, some of our front runners taking each other out there on the speedway, and all of a sudden it opens up the door for you to potentially pick up the dub here this evening. And late in this race, though, Curtis Kelly just showing too much speed. Strong car all evening as well, and he was able to steal this win away from you, man. But take us back through this race and what's going through your mind as you sit up here in position number 2.
Yeah, that start of the race was pretty okay for me. I kept it inside the top 5, and then, had a little bit of contact after that. Spun coming off pit road. That wasn't my greatest thing tonight. And then we got spun by a lap car. I think I only lost 1 spot on that, and we kept on driving. And yeah, that final restart, the seas just parted for me. Everyone wrecked and moved out of the way, and I just from 5th to 1st. So that was pretty good. But yeah, Curtis, he had a way faster car than me tonight. He blew the doors off me. I wanted to block him going into turn 1, but I didn't want to wreck us both. So I just let him have it. And I couldn't get back up to him.
Yeah, we saw you pushing there, trying to get that speed, or at least just trying to stick with him for maybe a late race bump and run. And unfortunately, he was just too strong, able to build that lead up and build that gap up enough where he never really got that shot to get back to him and make that move late in this race or on the final lap.
Yeah. All hands off to him, though.
Yeah, definitely some great racing. A very fast car there for Curtis Kelly, and obviously getting maybe a little bit blessed there. Obviously having Alex Coffey and Braxton Luis run into their issue there on that one restart, and Blaine getting tied up in it, and a lot of other fast cars that were up inside our top 5 all of a sudden getting quite a bit of damage. Luckily enough, you guys were able to avoid it and duke it out between each other for the race win this afternoon, and you settle in there for a solid 2nd place run.
Yeah, definitely spent all my luck tonight. I'll tell you that.
Well, you don't want to spend it all tonight, as I do believe we go to Talladega next week. So you don't want to spend it all here. You want to make sure you save a little bit of that for next week at Dega, man. But, man, a great run, a solid performance all afternoon. Noah, who would you like to thank for a 2nd place finish?
Just thank you to everyone who came out tonight. We getting a lot of people filling up the field, had a great race tonight. So yeah, thank you to everyone who came out, and thank you to the admins for putting this league on.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge shout to all the drivers, man. I know a lot of leagues, struggle when it comes to road courses. A lot of people don't tend to really like them. So normally, a 30-car field going to a road course, normally we see like 20 drivers or 15 drivers even show up because half of them don't really like the road course racing. But here tonight, man, we still saw 29 drivers show up. 27 took the green flag. So a great turnout and a great showing by each and every one of our amazing drivers here this evening, and be able to come home in position number 2 and gain a lot of points here this evening on some of them, and being able to work yourself into, the little bit of a mix here for the championship early on in the season.
Yeah, I prefer a road more than ovals in these cup cars, but yeah, I'm glad I was able to walk away with a good amount of points tonight.
Absolutely. Well, Noah, man, a great run, a great finish here this evening. Hopefully we'll see the same out of you more and more throughout the season. More trips up here into the broadcast booth, and hopefully one of these nights we'll get you up here into victory lane as well, man. Congrats again on the 2nd place finish, and we'll see you back up here and back out there on the racetrack for Talladega next Friday.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your night. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for our 2nd place finisher, Noah Miller, as Miller coming home there in position number 2. A solid run, a solid drive there for that number 8 machine here this evening. Now, unfortunately, our 3rd place driver is AFK. Our 3rd place driver, unfortunately, is not in the Discord, so we'll give a huge shout out there to Christian Marcelli. Marcelli coming home in position number 3 here this evening. The 22 ride pretty strong. Showed a lot of speed here throughout the afternoon. We saw him battling up inside the top 5, top 3 a lot here this evening, right there with Noah Miller and Curtis Kelly. So late in this race, seeing obviously Alex Coffey and Braxton Deweese run into their problem, it made perfect sense to see the way that this one finished with Kelly, Miller, and Marcelli rounding out our top 3 this afternoon. But man, a great run for the 22. A huge shout out there to him for the solid run and solid drive. Shout out to Blaine Wilson as well, our 4th place driver. Blaine being able to rebound there, not once, not twice, but a few times out there on the racetrack after getting early damage, able to battle back from that a couple times after getting that car repaired. Then late in this race, getting even more damage, having to restart deep in the pack, able to drive his way back up inside the top 5 for him and Alex Coffey. Man, is a impressive run there as Coffey comes home in that 5th position, and impressive rebounds for both of those drivers with damage on their cars late in the race, and finishing off still getting decent runs here this evening. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, unfortunately that will do it for us here this afternoon. I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. Everyone coming in with the likes, the comments, the shares, man. I appreciate each and every single one of you for the love and support here throughout the afternoon. As Nigel says, yep, some great runs, some great drives here by all these drivers, and I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. Everyone with the likes, the comments, the shares, man. Everyone, any of the new followers, any of the new subscribers, whether it's over on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, I appreciate each and every single one of you. And to any of the new supporters or members over on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or any of the donators that came in as well, showing the love and support here this afternoon. I appreciate you guys, and can't thank you guys enough for showing your generosity and showing the love here this evening. And I'll see you guys back in action. Unfortunately, COVID ridden again tomorrow night, but we will be back in action. We'll be going back to road course racing tomorrow night as well, back in with NASCAR, but we're not going to Watkins Glen. We're going to NASCAR's other favorite road course on the schedule, and that's Sonoma. We'll be going to Sonoma tomorrow night with the Premium Stock Car Racing League, so that's going to be a ton of fun, another crazy race, and should be a good time. So hopefully I see you guys back in here for that one, cheering those drivers on, whether or not it's your favorite drivers or your teammates, or you just want to be a fan in the stands. Come in, show the love, support myself, PeaceMaker, and showing the love. Just dropping a couple comments, saying hello, hitting the like button, watching for a minute or two helps us out a ton every single day that you guys can do that for us on every one of our videos, every one of our live streams helps us out a ton. But listen, can't thank y'all enough. Can't appreciate you guys enough, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow night. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen. Peace out, ladies and gents.
Burning rubber, smell it in the air. That's how we living. Machines roar, engines spitting fire, unforgiving. Tracks hot, lava tires gripping tight, zero slipping. Moonlit nights, neon lights, streets forbidden. Octane Outlaws, kings of the bend. No pretend, gloves off, helmets on, rivals round the bend. V8 symphony, metal orchestra, adrenaline blend. Speed demons, night prowling, never gotta blend. Fast lane royale, racing through the night. Checkered flag dreams, eyes on the prize. Pedals to the metal hearts, in overdrive. Octane Outlaws, we never compromise. Pit stop strategy, fuel up tires fresh. Seconds counting, every drop of sweat invest. Rivals in the rear view, only smoke they catch. Speed king's crown, never not obsessed. Turbocharged hearts beat with nitro veins. Circular dance, grip tight reins. Swerves and drifts, battle scars remain. Victory in our blood flowing like champagne. Grand slam chasers, roar of the beast. Curves we conquer, locking in the feast. High stakes gamble, front to east. Cold steel passion, never rest in peace. Octane Outlaws. Outlaws, kings of the bend, no pretend. Gloves off, helmets on, rivals round the bend. V8 symphony, metal orchestra, adrenaline blend. Speed demons, night prowling, never gotta blend. Fast lane royale, racing through the night. Checkered flag dreams, eyes on the prize. Pedals to the metal hearts, in overdrive. Octane Outlaws, we never compromise. Pit stop strategy, fuel up tires fresh. Seconds counting every drop of sweat and vest. Rivals in the rear view, only smoke they catch. Speed king's crown, never not obsessed. Turbocharged hearts beat with nitro veins. Circular dance, grip tight reins. Swerves and drifts, battle scars remain. Victory in our blood flowing like champagne. Grand slam chasers, roar of the beast. Curves we conquer, locking in the feast. High stakes gamble, front to east. Cold steel passion, never rest in peace.
Burning rubber, smelling in the air, that's how we live it. Machines roar, engines spitting fire, unforgiving. Tracks hot, lava ties gripping tight, zero slipping. Moonlit nights, neon light streets forbidden. Octane Outlaws, kings of the bend, no pretend. Gloves off, helmets on, rivals round the bend. V8 symphony, metal orchestra, adrenaline blend. Speed demons, night prowling, never gotta blend. Fast lane royale, racing through the night. Checkered flag dreams, eyes on the prize. Pedals to the metal hearts, in overdrive. Octane Outlaws, we never compromise. Hit stop strategy, fuel up tires fresh. Seconds counting every drop of sweat and vest. Rivals in the rear view, only smoke they catch. Speed king's crown, never not obsessed. Turbocharged hearts, beat with nitro veins. Circular dance, grip tight reins. Swerves and drifts, battle scars remain. Victory in our blood, flowing like champagne. Grand slam chasers, roar of the beast. Curves we conquer, locking in the feast. High stakes gamble, front to east. Cold steel passion, never rest in peace.